Hey, what's going on? We are live, everybody. And today on Financial Fitness Friday, I'm going to kind of tie in a couple things that I actually just realized, believe it or not, in the last 2 days, which is pretty exciting. All right. And the way I want to phrase it is this: I have been very uh, open and transparent, when it comes to what I do, my ups and my downs, especially in front of my kids. Okay. And my family. Right? They know what I do. I help people. I help them grow their business. I help them employ more people. I help them make a bigger impact in their communities. Right? But part of that, right, is I've taken some really massive losses, and I mean losses that the last call it 5 or 6 years. There's some losses that I probably should have claimed bankruptcy 3 times over. Okay, I mean one for 700,000, one for 600,000, which was an investment into a shit gym franchise called Peef Shit. Um, the other one was a fraudulent deal that went bad for 700K. That I'm still unburying myself, but I'm 99% of the way there, and there's definitely recourse. And then prior to that, I probably lost 4 to 500,000 in some investment deals. All right, being part of Apex and that scam of an organization, and so my kids have seen this. They actually have seen me be so stressed that I passed out, and I actually have a scar on one of my eyes because I smashed my head on the floor. They saw that. I woke up because I passed out, hit my head on the floor, and I got a towel over it. My wife holding it. Right. We went to the ER. So they have seen the ups and the downs. But you know what they haven't seen? They haven't seen dad quit. They haven't seen dad stop. They see dad keep working it out, figuring it out, pushing forward. All right. And let's go. Why is this important? Well, we're talking about finances and the good and the bad here, right? So they're seeing all this stuff. My son dealt with a lot of adversity. Okay. A lot more adversity than most 10 and 11-year-olds go through and call it the springtime, right? He basically was trying out for a bunch of hockey teams, and he wasn't making it. And he wasn't making it because he wasn't taking it as seriously as he needed to long enough. Well, he probably tried out, I want to say, for 3 or 4 teams before he finally made one. He made one on the fifth go of it. Okay. And now, because he's trained so hard and he's learned from this, there's a lot of teams calling and saying, hey, we want him to play. He's really honed his skill sets. Right. So for a 10-year-old to go through 4 failures, okay, and to keep pushing forward, right? I'm like, why did he do this? And what struck me is there's a lot of his friends that went through and did a similar process, right? Some of them made teams, but there was 2 or 3 that didn't make any teams, right? And they were at 3 or 4 of these tryouts, and they're good players. They're great kids, good players. And I recently spoke to one of the parents. I'm like, hey, I might be able to get you on this team. Well, the thing is this: those kids, the kids that didn't make it, okay, they kind of stopped. They stopped. And I don't know why. I can't tell you why, but when I'm thinking about it in my head, it's pretty clear. Like, you set the example. Okay, you set the example. So if my son has seen me get the living shit kicked out of me, okay, and still come out ahead, and still come out winning, and still come out, where I'm at, it taught him that level of determination, right? Like, the kid wakes up before anybody, works out, trains, reads at night, starting a business actually a second business at 11 years old, and he's training and playing hockey all the time. Like, I couldn't be prouder of him, right? Goes to church. He's a great kid. But it comes from the example that we lead as fathers, right? And the part I'm trying to get to is, if your kids don't know the ups and the downs, and they don't have to know the extremes, right? But if they don't know everything, you're not doing them any services. You're not doing them any favors. You have to set the example. They are going to match and mimic what you do. If they see you not give up, they're not going to give up. If they see you train hard and push yourself to the point of breaking, guess what? They're going to do that shit. If they see that you are constantly hustling for your family, right, and building something that's real, that's going to help other people, guess what they're going to do? They're going to do the same exact thing. All right. And that's why this stuff matters so much. Right. I get it. This isn't a financial discussion, but it is, because this relates to everything else that we do. Dave, what are your thoughts on this, bud?
Yeah, man. I mean, you're spot on that. I mean, everything that goes on in your household, it's always caught, not taught, right?
Yep.
It's seen visually. And I love that you said that, man. There's some things that have been going on, like with my son in particular. It's summertime, right? Kids typically get a little lazy if they're not occupied with things, or they'll find a way to get lazy when they're not doing something. Like my son's a martial artist. I've been posting about him and kind of his journey a lot. He's been in for a year now, and he's gotten lazy over the summer a little bit. And I call him out. And the beauty of his school is they call him out too. And I love that. And there is nothing wrong with that. And I love that because I'm a big football guy, right? And I see that here in the local scene, which, if you guys know anything, like Pennsylvania is a huge football state. It's and especially in our area, it's either football or wrestling. That's it. There's no two ifs, ands, or buts about it. But the problem is it's gotten so watered down, it's gotten so political, and it's almost gotten to the fact and title. I have friends that coach, and they're just like, hey, man, it's almost like you can't, it's the parents, it's not the kids. It's like you can't, you can barely even swear on the field anymore. You can't even like really chew a kid's ass out. At least in my area, they still do. And how do I know that? Because they had an alumni meeting before Thanksgiving and stuff, like with the team. It's a big deal here, Thanksgiving Day football, but we ain't gonna go into that. And Coach Seneca, man, he chewed some ass out, and it was refreshing. It was really refreshing to see. Yeah. And then what happened? Man, they performed. They put on a show. They put on a clinic. Andy talks about that 100-0, and that's what translated over. But like with my son, he's been kind of going through the motions, and like he won't earn a stripe or something to move forward, and then he gets all pissy about it. And I'm like, well, what happened? He's like, well, I didn't earn it. I said, did you think you did? Well, okay. Well, there's the answer. Yep. I said, man. And I actually posted this the other day with him. He's about to get to his green belt at the end of the month, barring he tests well that week, which I know he will. Even if he has a bad day throughout the week, he'll always pick it up. It's almost like he needs this kick in the ass. And I'm like, dude, you know what to do. Like, what are you doing? Like, you need to like fail one day, like in order to get like basically smacked in the back of the head, like pick your shit up. You know what I mean? But he's about to promote it. And every time he has a lazy day, like which isn't too often, but he knows about it. And I tell this to him all the time. I said, hey man, what are we doing today at karate? I said, more importantly, I said, you do this at school. And I said, I don't think you realize how they cross over and correlate. He's like, I give it my all. I said, listen, I don't care if you're good. I don't care if you're bad. I said, just give it your all, because even if you are bad, that consistency over time, you're going to get good. And he is good. And I think he takes that for granted, where it's like, hey man, I could chill a day. I can stop doing the work. I can have my lazy hands like this and not, bring my leg all the way up on a side kick and just go through. No, dude, that's not acceptable, man. Like, you're going to get called. Like, I'm not even going to call you out. Call your ass out, dude. So like, it's important. And going back real quick, I won't get on a crazy tangent here, but like even me, every morning, the first thing that my kids see is when they're up, they see me walking in the door at 6:30 in the morning. I'm just getting back from the gym. And like, it's, might have to have a talk with Ed this one, but it's like 115 degrees in there right now. And it is just hot. It's like, whoa, you're sweaty. What are you doing? I was like, I'll come back from the gym. And my daughter, she'll be like, oh, daddy, you getting muscles. I'm like, yeah, something like that. So they see it and they're flexing. It's like, I want to get big. I want to get strong. I want to move forward, get big like that.
It's so I'll tell you, this is a pretty common thing. Okay. You touched on something, brother, and you said something about parents. All right. I'm going to be real with you. Hockey has also gotten very watered down.
I'm sure.
Okay? Like 10 years ago, when I had a top ranked team in the country, I could skate the kids till they puked. You know what? One of those kids just signed with the Florida fucking Panthers. Okay. He was just in their camp. Literally, I had him 10 years ago. Amazing kid, amazing athlete. He actually played D1, went to school for free, broke every record at, I think it was Quinnipiac. All right. And I started training my son along with a couple other, I hire other coaches as well, but I've trained at a very high level. I just don't do it professionally anymore. Okay. I don't do it for a living. I did it earlier in my career when I was just starting out. And I will tell you this, I noticed the difference in the parents this time. Okay. To the point where I didn't start training until I found a group of parents that I knew didn't give a flying fuck what I did on the ice, as long as I cared about the kids, got them better, and held them to be accountable, and teach them how to be men, and teach them how to play the sport. Okay. And I found a group of probably 10 to 15 parents, right? And it was an invite only. These 10 or 15 parents I'm friends with. I love these guys. I love their kids. Okay. Their kids and my kid train together all the time, and they push each other to be better. And you know what? If I have to stop a training session to skate the living shit out of them, do you know what the parents do? They stick to the glass like those little fucking Garfields, okay, out of the car, and start smiling at the kids, okay, and start laughing at the kids, okay? And if I have to yell at one of the kids and the parent catches it, the parent might beat their ass in the parking lot. Okay. But these kids are the kids that are going to get better. These kids are the kids that are going to understand how fucking life works. Okay. These kids are going to do well in anything that they put their mind to, because they have somebody teaching them real things and holding them accountable. All right. And as parents, that's one of the biggest jobs we have on this planet. All right. So hope this helped. Right. I know you guys usually turn into for dollars and cents here, but you know what? Sometimes
there's a lot of dollars and cents tied to that.
Man. Yeah. No shit. There was a lot of dollars and cents tied to that. There was a lot of losses to learn those lessons. But hey, that's how you learn. All right. Go big or go home.
Hey, you're still here to talk about it, right?
Yeah, I am. And by the way, all that stuff is almost over. Almost. I almost have that $700K thing paid down, and I got active lawsuits all over the place. So I'm going to recoup that. But I wish I never went through it. But now that I did, I learned a lesson. So guys, appreciate you. Keep kicking ass. Share this with someone that needs to hear it. Appreciate you.
Be great, y'all.